Hey YouTube, and welcome back to the IoT Developer Masterclass. Now, in this video, we'll be writing a little code for a very simple IoT system using the ESP32 microcontroller and the MQTT. All right, so I think I do have an ESP32 right here. Is what it looks like. Um, MQTT is a lightweight network message and communication protocol that uses a message queuing service. Now, MQTT uses a publish and subscribe pattern known as PubSub for sending messages from one device to another device or devices. The client that sends the message to the channel is independent of the client or clients that actually receive these messages from the same channel. The connection between two or more clients in MQTT is handled by the broker, and the device that sends the message to the channel, usually that's the device we call the publisher, while the device or devices that receives these messages what we call subscribers, because they usually subscribe to receive messages on a specific channel, right? The broker usually filters out and routes messages from the publisher, which is the device that sends the message, to the subscribers. So essentially, a device or group of devices can subscribe to a channel, and any message sent to that channel by another device or publisher, will be received by all the devices that are subscribed to the same channel video. We would have a microcontroller or group, so maybe two. We'll see. Microcontroller connected to a light bulb and maybe a sensor. So we'll probably have two light bulb or red LED bulb or lamp and blue LED bulb or lamp. So it'll be connected to the microcontroller, and then the microcontroller will it will serve as a publisher, and also it will also serve as a subscriber. So as a publisher, it will we would have a sensor. We'll probably measure something from a sensor and publish it to a particular telemetry channel, which would go through the broker, and from our computer or mobile devices, we would be able to see the data from that sensor coming from that telemetry channel. And then the microcontroller will also be subscribed to a control channel. And what we would use that for would be when we send a command to probably turn on or turn off these lamps. It will receive that message. The microcontroller will receive that message, and based on the control command that was sent on through MQTT, it would switch on the respective light bulb that it was asked to based on the control. So that's what we're gonna build. Let's go ahead and start the coding for this. So a very nice tool that I like using when I'm doing small projects is this Walkwe.com. It's just a simulator. You can simulate your Arduino projects and ESP32, ESP8266. It has a lot of microcontrollers and parts, and you can use the simulator to design your circuit, build it, write the code, and test it. So that way, we're not going back and forth and building the actual circuit. When we finish it here, then we can actually build the circuit and transfer the code, and everything should work out fine. So this is the website. I will also put this in the description of the video, so that this will be easy to get to. But I'm just gonna go up and sign in here. So it's very easy to register and sign up, right? And then I'm gonna go down here to start from scratch, and I will pick the MicroPython. We'll be using Python for development. So I'll choose the MicroPython ESP32 because that would be what we would be building with now. This has already been put on the board right here. So what we have to do, so the first thing we need the light bulbs. So let's get a light bulb. Click on that. We get an LED, a red LED, and we'll probably need a resistor. So we need a resistor. So that's the resistor. Okay, let's put this together so we connect. Let's also get a blue LED. So let's get another LED. So we'll get a LED, second LED for blue, change the color. We'll get another resistor, and let's just make it 220 ohm. I think this is 1,000 ohm resistor, right? So let's make this red 220. This is the other one, right? Blue 220. Okay. Okay. We can save this. Okay. So untitled project. We probably want to give it a name. So let's call this. MQTT. Okay. So, yep. All right. So we have. Let's just make sure these are 220. Yep, the color looks correct. Okay. So I think the first thing. Okay, let's go ahead and do the connections first. So we're gonna connect the red LED to pin. Let's see. Let's connect the red LED to pin 12, and the blue LED will connect to pin 13. So I think they're both together here. So let's take this and we'll connect this to pin 12, and let's move this up a little. Move this down a little. Okay. Not really good at this. Let's see if we can move this up, make it look a little nicer. Looks better, I guess. So we said the red we want to put on pin 12, right? So okay, I just okay, here we go. Let's delete this first, I guess. And then we'll take it from pin 12 and we'll put it to the red, pin 13, so we don't mix it up. And here we can have this. Let's make it look nicer. Try and make it look nice, but I guess I'm not too good at this. Mouse is horrible today. Alright, I think this looks good enough. And we can have the red LED connected to pin 12, blue LED connected to pin 13. And now we'll need to connect the ground. So let's ground this. Let's ground that, and we'll need to ground this also. So let's ground this like not too bad. I think this looks good enough. What do you think? I think we could manage this. This looks too big. I think we also need a sensor, so let's move this a little bit closer. Let's make it a little nice. It's easy to use. I'm just, guess today is not my lucky day. Okay, cool. Yeah. Let me reuse this a little bit, and then we're gonna put a sensor. I think a good sensor would be the DHT22 for measuring environmental variables. So it's a temperature and humidity sensor. DHT22. Okay. And you could look at a data sheet. I think just go ahead and connect this. So I think the first one goes to the power, right? So I think that's what it is. So do that, and then the second one goes to the ground pin. So we'll do that. Sorry, the second one should go to. No, that's not the ground pin. Look at that. I think that's the input data. All right, so that should go to pin 15, and then the last one, that's the ground. Oh yeah, it was written there. Yeah, that's the SDA, and this is the VCC. I kind of forgot to look at that. So this goes to the ground. So let's just make sure this is VCC, this is SDA1, and that is ground. Okay, it's all labeled in here. So looks cool. What do you think? Okay, I think we can go ahead. So what we're gonna do next is let's start coding. So let's just save this first. Okay, let's start coding. First, let's set up the device. So in order to set up our device, we need a device ID. And for this device, we could call it WOKWI001, I think. I think that's fine. WOKWI 00 WOKWI 001. So take this down a little bit. Just in case we need to put some import statements later. Then let's set up our Wi-Fi. So for Wi-Fi, we would have the ESP32 comes with a Wi-Fi, so we can use that. So this, and also WorkWeek provides internal Wi-Fi that you can connect to. You just have to put in the username and password for it, and you should be able to use the simulator to connect to the Wi-Fi that the simulator provides. So we could do that. I think the username is WalkWeGuest. WalkWeGuest. Yep. And the password for this And now, because we'll be connecting to an MQTT, we'll be using the MQTT broker that's provided by HiveMQ. So we would need the MQTT broker. So let's do a MQTT setup. Okay. Could just align this better. And we can copy this broker value from here. We'll also need to give our device an ID. We'll need that to set up the MQTT. So let's do this. And we could just, I think we could use our device ID for that, right? Yeah, should be fine. Don't need to give it another name. So remember we talked about the having a telemetry channel where we would be publishing data from the sensor. In this case, we would be publishing the data from the DHT22. So let me put this together. And we could call it for the channel or topic. We could call it IoT. Let's use lowercase for that. T slash. Okay, let's clean this up a little bit. And we're also going to need a control topic. So let's do this. Let's copy this. This is where we'll send our control commands to. And we would call it IoT control. Let's make it easy. I think that should be lowercase, better if it's all. Okay, so looks good so far. So now let's start setting up our device pins. Let's set up the DHT pins. So let's say the DHT22. So we would have I think we'll need the pin from machine.pin. So let's do this first. This is the pin 15. I think if I remember clearly, that is where we put it. Yep, pin 15. That's where we're reading from. So SDA, it's pin 15. Okay, and now let's go and I think this is caps. Let's should, sorry, my caps lock is still on. Okay, that looks better. Pin 15. Okay, now let's go ahead and import the pin from, because we're using that. So, I'm sorry. Let's just do this. I think that should do the trick. Yep. So, okay, it looks great. Now let's set up our LED pins. So the LEDs are outputs, so because we want to be able to turn them on. So yeah, just put that. So for this, we have two LEDs there. So let's do red. Set up the red first. So we have, I think the red is on pin 12. Make sure. Okay, pin 12. Oh, that's not in there because I'm just used to writing comments all the time. But the name is already good. So we have blue LED. And the blue is on pin 13, right? So let's make sure we have those done correctly. Okay. Okay. Just let's see. Looks good so far. Okay. So let's go to. Usually I like to put the LED on and then turn it off later just to make sure things are working, just like an indicator, and just make sure things are working. So let's do that. Let's turn on both the red and the blue. So red LED dot on, blue LED dot on. Okay. So what we'll do, turn them on initially, and then we'll turn them off just to know that they're working, right? And then I think next, let's start working on some of our methods. Let's see. So I think one of the first methods we're gonna work on is our callback method. So I think we need this because when we get when we subscribe to rather when we subscribe to a channel and we need to get data back from that channel, right? Once data is sent through that channel, the callback method usually is what's called. All right, so we need that when setting up the MQTT client. So let's go ahead and do that right now. So we would say, let me do this. Okay. receive callback, and we'll give it there's two things: topic and message. Okay, for now, let's just print out whatever we get back, so that we can see that we'll just, for now, that's what we'll put in this method. So let's print it out. New lines. Data received. Let's make that a exclamation point, and we'll have a new line here. So we'll print out the topic, and we'll also print out the message. Okay, so let's okay, I think this looks good, right? Topic. Okay. Okay, for now we'll just print this out. That's all we'll do for now. And now let's make a method for connecting to our MQTT for making the MQTT connection. So MQTT connect, and here we will have so initially we want to, let's print out that we're about to connect, right? I think that would be good. Let's not end it. Let's just because we want to kind of have let's not have a new line after it prints. So let's just put an empty space there. No, just nothing, I guess. Okay. Now we need to connect to the MQTT. So let's do MQTT client equals MQTT client. We need to import that. MQTT client. I think that's how it's spelled. So, but let's import that first. So let's go ahead and import that. So from that, the MicroPython does have, save this just in case. MicroPython does have an MQTT library called MQTT. So we're gonna use that. that's already here, so that's what we need. Okay. And now that we have the client, I think it has certain parameters we need to fill in. So we'll put in MQTT client, the client ID that we want to pass. We'll also put in the broker. We already defined that. We'll put in the username and password. I think HiveMQ doesn't really require any username and password to use the free MQTT broker. So we have the username, and we also have password. Let's see, we have the broker, client. Okay, we'll subscribe to those later. Okay. And now that we've done that, we need to set our callback. QTT client. So that's the callback method we had initially set. I think at this point we can now connect, right? It's just .connect. Now at this point, when it's connected, let's just print that out. So we'll just print out that it's connected here. Done type. Okay. Connected. Yep. And now at this point we can start our subscription. So let's do this, MQTT client. Let us now subscribe. Okay, so we're now subscribed to our control topic. Okay, and now let's change this if we don't need this later. Okay. Now, I think next thing we'd probably want to do here is, let's see, so we connect, okay, then we want to be able to publish. We're going to need a method to publish the temperature and the humidity from the sensor, right? So let's just go ahead and create that method now. We're going to need a method to publish those. So create, we'll use JSON object. Humidity. So this would be for the temperature and humidity from the DHT22. We'd need to use this to format the, let's just use this method to format the data properly, right? So we need the UJSON, MuJSON library. I think that's what we need, right? MuJSON, MicroJSON, sorry, MicroJSON, not Mu. So it's data equals MicroJSON. And we're gonna need the temperature. Let's publish the temperature. And we're also gonna need to publish the humidity. It's probably just easy to do that, yeah. So we're just gonna use this to parse the data properly. We can send it separate place, right? So let's do this. Return. The object name is data. Okay. Now, let's write another method. Okay, maybe let's start the main method now. Yeah. Okay, so let's start with application logic. You know what? I think let's make a new method to parse out, make it easy how we're going to publish the data, right? So let's define a new method here. So we need the topic that we want to publish to, and we need the data, right? And let's just print out first that we would be doing that, so we know when we are updating. So we'll say and then we'll just use the MQTT client.publish method. And after we publish, we can print something that the publish was successful, right? So sorry about that. MQTT client.publish. And what we want to publish, we need the topic and the data. It's just for us to simplify so that we can get some, we'll be using this in multiple places, and we want to know when we publish something and see some alerts on the screen, you know, so see something printed on the screen. So just makes things a little bit easier. And maybe we could just print the data and then that should be fine. Okay, I think this should look good. This should look good. Yep. So I think the next thing we're gonna do, let's start our logic at this point. So the first thing we need to do is to connect to the Wi-Fi. And so we haven't connected to the Wi-Fi all this time, so connect. I think we already wrote the method to connect to MQTT, but we never wrote the method to connect to Wi-Fi. Okay, so we have the Wi-Fi SSID and password up there. So let's go ahead and do this. So Wi-Fi, let's create a Wi-Fi client. Wi-Fi client equals to, we're gonna need network, right? Okay, let's go ahead and import network. We'll need the network too. Okay. Wi-Fi client equals network WLAN, and that would be network dot sta. Okay, I think that's the way we do it, right? And now, next thing we'll do is we need to set the Wi-Fi client active. So let's do this, Wi-Fi client. And then okay, so let's connect to the Wi-Fi. Because the Wi-Fi takes a while, usually we want to know when that connection starts, when we start connecting. That's the way I like doing it. We'll print out a message that we're about to start connecting, and then while we're waiting for the connection, we'll print out all the messages, and then once the connection is made, we'll see that okay, the connection is complete. So let's do something like that. So we'll say just say that we are connecting to the Wi-Fi. And for that to happen, we're gonna have to use the Wi-Fi client .connect. And we need the SSID and the password, which we have already declared. I think the SSID goes first. And next we need to put in the password. And now we need to, the way we do this is we keep checking if the Wi-Fi is connected, and then when it's connected, we know that it's connected, and then we can continue. But we'll have to pause everything while we're trying to connect. If not, we could have some issues, right? So so let's just put a comment here to wait. say wait until Wi-Fi is connected, right? Okay. So to do that, we need a while statement. So well, it's something that we can keep waiting on until it's done. So while the Wi-Fi client is not connected, so Wi-Fi client is connected. So while the Wi-Fi client is not connected, so we'll just print out that it's connecting, and then we'll wait. Let's give it some time to sleep. We'll need the time library, so MicroPython does have a time library that we need to import. So for now, let me just, I think we can wait 0.1 of a second time dot sleep. Okay, and I will import the micro time. Did we import that? Nope, not yet. Micro time. I think that's what it's called. Yep. So once it's connected, this while loop should be dismissed. So that means outside this while loop, we can Wi-Fi connected, and let's just print out the if config. Just see the Wi-Fi data. Print out the Wi-Fi data. Okay. All right, so let's start our coding. So while true, we need the MQTT client to check the message. So MQTT client dot before we do that, we need to connect to the MQTT client. So let's go ahead and do that. Need to connect to the MQTT broker. So. I already created the method, right? I think we called it MQTT connect. And once we're connected, we had this would be a good time to turn off our LED lights right before our application Remember, we had turned it on just to make sure things are working. This would be a good time to turn that off. And now, okay, this would probably be a good time to initialize the DHT sensor also. So DHT. There's a library. I think it comes with the DHT library. I think it comes with MicroPython, so we don't have to import it. DHT22. DHT. We declared the pin, so we're just gonna declare that pin. Does it come with it? Huh. Now I'm confused. I used to think it came with it, but I might be wrong. I think it comes with it, but we have to import it. So, yep, I think that's what it is. So let's maybe just go ahead and import that. So we'll need one more. So import DHT. That's for the DHT sensor. And now that we have that, okay, DHT sensor, okay, check message. This check message should trigger our callback method that we've did receive callback method to be called. So it will check if there's a new message, and then if there's a new message, then I think that callback method, and there's a new message in the queue. Right, so it's just I think I've been putting a lot of printout statements here just to make sure that we know what stage things are in, and just that will help us there. And now I think here we can measure the DHT sensor. Measure MEASURE. And now we'll do okay, so let's get the telemetry data at this point. All right, so so create JSON data. We'll only get it as a JSON data because we already created that create JSON data method to help us parse it properly. All right, so, and we'll publish it as a JSON. So the HT sensor dot temperature. Well, that should get us the temperature, and the HT sensor dot humidity, and that should also get us the humidity. Now, next thing we'd probably like to do. So we want to publish the data, right? We want to be able to publish when there's new data. We want to publish it, but if there's no new data, there's no real need. Like because this while loop would be really fast, right? So it's moving and coming back and repeating the loop, right? And if we're measuring and sending, we'll just clog up too much data on the broker, right? So we'll only send data when there's new data to be sent. If there's no new data, then there's no point sending it, right? So let's take this as let's rename this as new, right? Telemetry data new, and this is a string, a JSON string, right? And what we're gonna do here is we're gonna say telemetry data. We're gonna keep track of the old data, right? So we could just declare an empty string right here for that. So I think that should do it. Telemetry data new. And now if new data is not the same as the old data, right? So if new data is not equal to old data, I hope I have everything right so far. If the new data is not the same as the old data, then that means there is a different, we just got something different. So that means we can publish. So we should have a publish. Did we create? Yep, we did. We created a publish method to simplify so we don't have to recreate this all the time. So we know when we publish instead of writing too many lines of code. So we have publish, and we want to publish to the telemetry topic. I want to publish this data to the telemetry topic, and we'll be publishing the new data that we just got, right? We don't want to do the old data. Be a mistake. And then telemetry data old. So we now update our old data to be the new data at this point. And we could let this sleep for like maybe 100 milliseconds. Time dot sleep. Okay, now that is a lot of code. Let's save this. And now let's run it. Let's see if we have everything done properly. So our LEDs did come on, and we were connecting, and we're connected, and we see it published. So you can see that it says updated MQTT broker, which is at this point, and it published the data, and that was successful. So we're just gonna stop that for now. Let's minimize this a little. I want to open the let's open the WebSocket client. Okay. Alright, so let's have that open. Let's see how the data comes in. So I think we have everything we need. Let me just minimize this a little. Make it look neat. Okay. So let's first connect this client here to the broker. So this, and then what we're gonna do is we're gonna subscribe so that we can see this data. We'll subscribe to the telemetry, so that the telemetry channel or topic, so that when we send the temperature data, we can receive it here. So let's add that IoT telemetry, subscribe. So we're connected and we're subscribed to telemetry topic. So we should receive any message from telemetry topic at this point. So let's run this again. So me see, we're connecting. Oh, yeah. Now you see we got the data on HiveMQ. So you could see we're connected to the HiveMQ MQTT broker, and it measured 40% humidity and 24 degrees, right? Temperature, and that has been published here. So what we're going to do is, let's see, because now you can see we made it so that, okay, it's reading but it's not updating, so that's why you see that. So let's assume we update the humidity to 56%. You could see that it published a new thing. So we detected that new data, we detected new data, and that was published, right? Same thing if the temperature got reduced to negative 12 degrees. You can see that has been published. If we increase it to 38.6, we got that. If we reduce the humidity to 36, so looks like everything is working as expected. Now, the other thing we would like to see here is, what if we send data to the device, right? We've been talking about sending command data or control data, right? So that was one of the reasons why we created this IoT control um, topic, right? So let's say we want to send data here. We want to publish a message, right? And we could say maybe turn on blue LED, right? So we have, remember, we haven't written the method yet for that, right? So we'll do that in the next video. You could see here that we have the callback method, and it just says, the topic, and it also said the message that came back, right? So the topic is IoT control. The message should be turn on blue LED. So if we publish this, so you could see it printed it, data received. So it shows that we are at this point. Topic, IoT control, message is turn on blue LED. So same thing if we were to do it for the red. So we could use this generally to control our LEDs at this point. So yeah, this looks good so far. I think we're gonna stop here for this video. This is kind of getting too long at this point, so we'll cut it. And in the next video, it'll just be a little code to just show how we can use those control data to turn on the LED, because right now we're getting temperature data, right? So when we change the temperature, we get the new temperature 6.9, and we change to 60.9, we get that new temperature, and we change the humidity, we get the new humidity. Well, we're not yet able to turn on or off our red and blue LED, right? So in the next video, we would be dealing with that, and then we would see we'll see how to get data from this topic and how to process the data and use that to trigger on the LEDs, change the environment basically. And so thank you so much for watching this. This is pretty long, but I hope it was fun, and I hope you learned a lot as we go through this course. And I'll see you in the next one. All right. Yeah, just feel free to, like, comment, and share this video. I'm new to YouTube, so I'm probably going to create a channel with this. So also subscribe if you want to. And all right, we'll see you in the next one. Thank you so much.